To get more knowledge, you go to college. The importance of getting a degree has never been higher. A tried and true way of boosting earning potential and competing in a tough job market.
Investment in a college degree and the learning that goes along with that college degree is going to last you a lifetime.
But lately, that investment of a lifetime has a price tag that's growing and growing. College tuition has been rising sharply since the 70s, but we chose to use the last 20 years as a benchmark. The average overall cost of going to a private school has increased by 61%, while for public schools, it's shot up by 85%. Bill Summers, who has been in higher education for 25 years, remembers a time when state governments funded public universities by about 2/3, and the students split the difference.
Over the course of the last decade or so, that's actually flip-flopped, and now the student pays for about 2/3 and state appropriations or state funding pays for about 1/3.
Over the past 20 years, tuition at Shepherd has more than doubled for state residents, but out-of-state students have taken the biggest hit, with their tuition more than tripling.
It was a little scary because I would look at the colleges and then I'd only see in-state and be like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I'd check it to out-of-state and it'd be a lot worse.
When you go to the private school at Hood College, the tuition has more than doubled for everyone. To put it into perspective though, the 1995 tuition here costs more than the current tuition for out-of-state students at Shepherd. That simple sticker shock of private colleges is sometimes enough to prevent students from even applying it at all.
I initially was going to apply to Yale. Their tuition alone and not just not cost of attendance was $63,000 a year, which is more than my entire tuition will be after 4 years at Frostburg.
But not every school is the same. Guidance counselors at North Hagerstown High School encourage their students to keep their options open.
A lot of times families get really nervous because obviously the majority of private schools have a higher price tag. The one thing to keep in mind is that private schools also have a lot more money in order to give.
Much of these funds are dealt out through need-based and merit scholarships. Even though you might think your family makes too much or too little, counselors stress the need to fill out the FAFSA, which opens the doors to more opportunities.
And I tell my kids all the time, applying for scholarships is almost like a full-time job if you do it right, because you're constantly applying for them. And they think, well, it's just $200. Well, if you get multiple $200 scholarships, that's books for a year. So that really
that adds up.
It really does add up, and it really does help.
With jumping through all the hoops to eventually get here, every little bit counts. Reporting in Shepherdstown, Nick Munson, WHAG News.